Hello, this is Pallavi welcoming you to a new episode of EY's Sustaining Sustainability podcast, where we look at the most important issues that India needs to deal with in their environmental, social, and governance journey. Today, we will look at a slightly unusual topic where we delve into how drones are being used for sustainability. Drones have been in the news for their use in warfare. But potential of the drones for non-military use often gets masked because of all the headlines that drones in war generate. To understand how drones are being used across the world in the sustainability battle, I have with me Arun Nagarajan, the EY partner in digital consulting, who has a deep expertise in drones and their uses across the sectors. Arun leads EY's Drone Center of Excellence and supports our clients for evangelizing drone technology to unlock business value. Arun, welcome to our podcast today.
Thanks, Pallavi. Pleasure to be here.
Arun, like I said earlier, that we would be discussing an unusual topic today. To begin with, how is the topic of sustainability related to drones?
Thanks, Pallavi. We are at a time where we are using a lot of fertilizers, a lot of chemicals to increase the yield of our farming and agriculture. Uh, and essentially, a lot of our human activities are also polluting the air, right? There is rampant deforestation as we mine more and more metals from earth, given the excessive demand that we have. ESG focuses on ensuring a sustainable balance across all of these activities. As it turns out, drones provide a huge amount of data, and to ensure that we do the right analysis and we take the right decisions to ensure that we are able to adopt sustainable practices, right? So drones have a great impact when it comes to our activities to ensure that they are more sustainable, to ensure that we have a more balanced approach of managing the activities so that they are friendly to the environment as well.
That is really interesting to know. My next question to you, Arun, is earlier you had mentioned that drones help in enabling sustainable agriculture. How is that possible?
Yeah. So today, as you know, the agriculture yields is somewhere at pressure where there's a lot of demand for the agriculture produced from the same amount of land, because of which we use a lot of chemicals and fertilizers to improve the yield. In many cases, what happens is these fertilizers and chemicals, which are when overused, they enter into the food chain as they get leached into the soil, and they get leached into the water bodies as well. And that's one of the key challenges that we see across our food chain. So where drones are being used today is largely in an area called as precision agriculture. What we do is, instead of spraying chemicals and fertilizers across the entire farm, we use drones to analyze and just spray enough amount of chemicals and fertilizers at the right places in the farm where it is required, so that you can increase the yields, so that you can reduce the amount of fertilizers and chemicals used. So this also reduces it also reduces the cost of the agriculture as well, and it makes agriculture more sustainable. So this is one of the most evolving topics that you see where drones are being used from an agriculture perspective.
Thank you for those valuable insights, Arun. It's fascinating to see how drones can help in precision agriculture. On that note, we would like to know how does it work and how are we adopting drones for agricultural purposes in India?
Yes, Pallavi. So imagine what the drone does is, the drone essentially takes aerial photographs of thermal images, optical images, or even in many cases, multispectral images. You can use the thermal images to identify where there is a pest infestation in the farm. You can use spectral images to identify very subtle color changes or on the leaves, so that you can identify malnutrition, you can identify any other stress which is there on the crops, right? What the drones do is use this data along with the GPS coordinates of where this data is measured. And then they use drones to spray specifically at the areas where the support is required. So wherever there is malnutrition, you spray enough amount of fertilizers that's required to rectify it. And wherever there is a pestilence, you spray enough amount of pesticides to ensure that you are able to manage the yield. So this not only increases yield, but it also optimizes your agriculture cost as well. So drones have been, and what this enables you to do is it enables you to have a very sustainable agriculture production across the entire life cycle. One of the key important facts of sustainability is to measure the biodiversity in the farms, because an excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers kills a lot of insects and kills a lot of bees and other animals in the plant and reduces the biodiversity. And hence, drones can be used to improve biodiversity. They can also be used to measure the extent of biodiversity which is there, which is one of the key measures of a sustainable agriculture. When you come to India, the government has announced Kisan drones and Drone Shakti in Feb 2022. Since then, there has been a significant adoption of drones in agriculture in India. Did you know that there has been almost a 2x increase in number of drone startups since this announcement in India in the last 18 months? A lot of the startups have a focus on driving precision spraying and precision agriculture in the sector. So it's a very exciting field in terms of how drones are being used for sustainable agriculture in India.
Wow, that's great to hear. The future of drones and sustainability indeed looks incredibly promising. And I can imagine the impact that it would have given the size of agriculture sector in India. Changing tracks a bit, you also mentioned that drones help in controlling pollution. How can that be done using drones?
Yes. So one of the key caveats or one of the key principles is the fact that what you cannot measure, you cannot control, right? So drones can provide a very effective way of collecting air samples, not only at the ground level, but at different altitudes in urban and industrial localities. One of the key measures of pollution, of course, is particulate matter, ppm, and also monitoring pollutants like methane and sulfur oxides in air. What drones can do is collect air samples at different levels in industrial and urban areas, and they can also almost on a real time measure the contaminants like particulate matter or even methane or sulfur oxides, so that you get a very accurate profile of pollution in an urban center or in an industrial center. And lot of the governments are doing this. For example, if you take European countries like Romania, they are using drones to almost build a profile of pollution levels across their urban areas so that they can take policy decisions effectively. In Western countries like America and Canada, drones are being used to measure the methane pollution that's happening from the meat and dairy industries. So based on this data that is collected from drones, the government can take the right steps and to ensure that they enable the right policies uh, to have a compliance for air pollution, especially from the meat and dairy industries. So all of this is impacting a lot in controlling the pollution and also managing climate change using the data that is driven from drones.
Adding to that, Arun, as I understand that some mining companies are beginning to use drones for specific sustainability operations. So how do drones help in mining sector?
So drones has one of the largest potential users in the mining sector. So one, from a mining perspective, it's very important to have sustainable practices to ensure that the mining happens in the regulated area of the mines and there is no illegal mining that is there. So drones are used to track the extent of mining and the impact of mining in the ecology. Drones are also used to track to see if there's any surface cracks, and what is the general ground conditions, what is the kind of erosions that is there, and what's the contamination to the water bodies in and around mines. So this helps provide very important information around drones and also the sustainable practices which are being used in mines. So drones not only not only give a very high amount of information, but also help reduce the number of people deployed in very hazardous conditions, wherever there is, let's say, a high contamination of methane, or there is high contamination of air pollutants within the mine environment. So drones can operate without any people involved, and hence it's a very safe way of managing drones and managing safety of people. More importantly, whenever the mining activity is completed, it's important to ensure that you do a reforestation of the mining area. And drones can be used to do a reforestation after the mining activity is completed. Did you know, Pallavi, that drones can help accelerate reforestation by approximately 100 times compared to any other manual reforestation techniques? This is largely used in South America and other mining countries, where they use drones to plant seeds and plant different kinds of trees, so that your reforestation is faster and is also very cost effective.
Thanks a lot, Arun. One last question that our listeners are keen to know is that what is the current adoption of drones in general and for sustainability in specific within India?
Yeah, one of the key visions in India is for India to become one of the primary drone manufacturing hubs in the world by 2030. With this vision, the government has evangelized the use of drones across multiple different sectors. One of the primary sectors, of course, is agriculture and mining, like we talked about. Over the last 24 months, there has been a significant focus on manufacturing drones in India and adopting the technology across public and private companies, so that it can be used to drive the push towards more sustainability and cost-effective practices. We have one of the most liberalized yet secure drone regulations in the world, and it also fosters a lot of innovation and adoption. Specifically, in sustainability, there has been a significant adoption of drones in agriculture in the last 18 months, post the Drone Shakti and the Kisan drone programs that has been announced. The focus has been a lot on precision spraying of pesticides and fertilizers. Very soon, this focus will evolve into a broader precision agriculture solution and a biodiversity enhancement initiatives, which will be driven using drones as a backend. India is a very exciting place. Witness the growth of drones, especially in the area of sustainability in the coming years.
This was a very interesting conversation, Arun. I learned a lot today personally, and thank you for joining us and sharing your insights on drones for sustainability operation.
Thanks, Pallavi. It was my pleasure chatting on this topic. I think the use of sustainability and drones in sustainability will only increase from now on. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me for the podcast.
Thank you, Arun. And with that, we'll wrap this episode. Stay tuned for more insightful conversation on EY Sustaining Sustainability podcast.